Hello, my name is Katherine Oostman. I am the director of The Bleeding. I wanted to do a director's commentary as a little bit of a time capsule for myself because I know it's unorthodox for a small director to make a commentary on a short film, but I wanted to do it so that, in 10, 20 years, I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And also because I found that the commentaries and the behind the scenes that I appreciate most are from filmmakers at my own level. It makes me feel like I am learning something in a part of their journey. So hopefully this gives you that as well. And if not, skip to the next video because I'm sure YouTube has something else for you. So let's get started. So The Bleeding is a proof of concept, which means that it is a small piece of a feature film that I have written and want to make. And this is basically designed to kind of show the nature of the scare and introduce the characters and kind of the tone of the piece. As you can see, this room is stunning. This is a Airbnb in Big Bear, and we scoured the edges of the Californian earth for something that felt Midwestern. We wanted something that felt homey and dark and kind of rustic and earthy in tone, and this place checked all the boxes. It was beautiful. Devin Feheley is our lead. She plays Mars. You never learn the characters' names in the short film, but Mars is the name of the protagonist in the feature film, and that is her crush, Andre, played by Jeremy Neal. They are dating in real life, which is super sweet, and I've been friends with them for several years now, so it was really great to get to collaborate with them. And yeah, the lines are occasionally a little bit cheesy, but I wanted to lean into kind of that uncertain sort of flirtation you have as a teenager, and that was my way of adding that in. In Mars's bedroom, you can see there are a lot of details that are like innocence personified. This is a girl who is kind of leaving childhood and becoming a woman. Major shout out to Christina, our production designer. She killed it in finding details like this to really bring the set to life. This scene is really about Mars trying too hard. She's trying to find that line of growing up, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like a part of her yet. I think we all experienced that at some point while growing up. Look at that mirror. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. Circle mirrors forever. There's a lot of flowers in the background of the film, and it's kind of meant to represent femininity as well as innocence, and this story is really about Mars coming of age, so that's where a lot of that comes from. Layne did an incredible job of creating a sort of moody environment in this bathroom. Fortunately, we had these amazing green walls to work with, but if you've shot in a bathroom, you know it just tends to bounce light everywhere, so you have to be very intentional about how you control the light, and he absolutely delivered on that. So if you haven't really figured out what the metaphor behind the film is, it's really about menstruation. And I know that's kind of an awkward metaphor to talk about. Our society still hasn't come to terms with speaking about periods openly yet, but we're getting there. To me, creating a horror film felt like the perfect way to explore how jarring the transition to womanhood can be, especially as you shed innocence and become aware of the world wanting something more from you. For this scene specifically, and a lot of our scenes in general, we used lighting references such as It Follows, a little bit of Raw, some loosely taken Riverdale moments. The color palette of the light is always this turquoise, light pink, and then this amber to really create an ethereal feeling like these people are in their own world. And here we get to experience the magic that is Alex Winkler's score. He has collaborated with me before on a film called The Lookout, which you can see also on YouTube. There's a couple things happening here. The music is souring, obviously, to show you that something is wrong. The shot outside is handheld, so it feels a little bit voyeuristic, and it's tilting in this Dutch manner, which is something that we chose to do to visually represent the monster. And of course, you can imagine how humiliating it would be to be kissing someone and then blood starts coming out of your mouth. It makes me cringe. Like, just not a good day for Mars. As you can see, the blood is kind of like coagulating and becoming like this string of grossness. The beauty of corn syrup, my friends. There's a lot going on here, even though it's a pretty simple shot, because we have Devin moving organically. She's crying, we're racking focus, and all of this is being done by my incredible DP, Layne Inselman, while he's shooting handheld, whilst like squatting on the toilet.
Please leave. But I said get out!
In the temp track, that sound effect was actually eggshells cracking. And my sound designer, Kelly Oostman, yes, she's my sister, and I loved it so much that she built upon that and created the monster sounds that you hear in the final film. Thank you, Kelly, for all of your spooky sonic wonderfulness. So here she's finding the lighter that Andre had earlier in the film as kind of our symbol that something is wrong, but also just to give her something to play with, that she is going to try to flip it in the same way that he did because he's cool and she wants to emulate him and she really does care about him. Of course, A Window Open is a callback to the beginning of the film. Andre doesn't use doors because he's too cool for them, so that's supposed to be her signal that Andre has left, when in fact we're thinking what just came through that window. You'll notice that we used a lot of framed shots, which means we're often shooting through a window or a door or something that obscures the frame to hopefully build some visual tension and make you think that the monster could be lurking around the corner. So that shot actually took quite a bit of coordination because, he has to step in behind Devin and then out, and it is in fact Jeremy in a black suit breakdancing basically behind her, and it turned out quite cool. Taken out of context, it probably feels silly, but hopefully when you watched it with the lights off in your home, it gave you some spooky vibes. I love the symmetry of the background. The sconces on the wall are incredibly moody, and the artwork kind of frames Devin's head. A lot of that was here naturally to the Airbnb, but it creates this very small oasis in the image of innocence that is surrounded by this vignette of darkness that Layne lit in a beautiful way. And of course, the monster's presence is triggering the bleeding, which is a part of our feature mythology. Listen, I'm very aware that someone sneaking down a dark hallway and reaching for a light switch in a house where someone's clearly disappeared is cliche, but we thought we could pull it off with the reveal that's upcoming, kind of give a false sense of security and something that the audience has seen before, and then reveal it with the twist. So obviously, this version of Andre is not the real Andre, it is the monster, and that's why he licks the blood. The blood attracts him, and it also is what he's hungering for, so it's kind of this cyclical mythology there. And what was really important to us here is that even though she's innocent, she's not a victim, so that's where she fights back here with the door. Clunk. This final trick was honestly the thing that took the longest. Like every other effect in this film, it was done practically with 2 pieces of fishing line. I was laying on the floor on the hallway to the right, and another crew member was on the left. We each had a piece of fishing line connected to the opposite side of the door handle, and we were just pulling back and forth to create the perfect momentum of an equal swing that we could cut between. And it took a few tries to get right, but I think we pulled it off. These credits are incredibly important to me because each one of these people gave their time, their talent to make this film possible. Making indie film is definitely a labor of love. There's not riches involved in it. There's not some sort of grand recognition that's awaiting you on the other side. You're doing it for the love of making movies, and each of these people is undeniably gifted, and I have been truly, truly blessed to get the chance to work with each and every one of them. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for believing in this project. Thank you for giving it a piece of you. And to you guys for suffering through this commentary of this 7-minute short film with me. Thank you for being interested in our work and giving it your time and your focus. And if you liked what you saw, please check out my other films, The Lookout and The Stranger, which you can find on my YouTube channel. On to the next.